Boater Secret Weapon. I want to thank you for joining us for this Sunday night live. We're getting ready to start here in just a couple of minutes here. We'll start about 8:30, but I wanted to welcome you. If you've never been to a live, here's what you can expect. Just go ahead and chat in your comment section, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube. Just ask your question, leave your comment there, and then as we go through the time, I just kind of scroll down all the comments and I try to answer them. Now, if it's something that I need to ask you a question, I may ask you a question and just put it in the chat again, and I'll come back and I'll get that information so I can give you a more personalized response, something that's going to really add value for you. This is just something I do. One, it's great fun. I really enjoy it. It's helpful for the community. Just sharing my knowledge. Now, one thing that you need to know, I don't know everything about boats. I know a lot about boats. I've been a boater since I was 5. I've sold boats. It's something that is a big part of my life. With that said, I don't know everything. Matter of fact, sailboats, have zero experience with sailboats. Bass boats, very little experience there. Bow riders, deck boats, center consoles, jet boats, twin engines, stern drives, outboards, inboards, all of that I have experience with. And if I have an answer, I'll give you my best answer. If I don't have an answer, I'll try to give you a resource that will be valuable for you. If I have an opinion, I'll try to give you that opinion, but let you know this is what I think, not what I absolutely know. So I look forward to it. Here's a little video intro that a subscriber made for me. Thanks, Bo. And we'll see you on the live when it kicks off here in just a moment. Welcome everybody to the live. We got, we got Ray from Indiana. Welcome to the show. Kings in the City, welcome. Sustainability, good to have you. Still holding out for a warm boat day before the 31st. We'll get one more in there. We got 211 in Kentucky. Winterized the boat yesterday, so his first full season is in the books. MC McBenz, welcome. That's a new name. BC Outdoors, welcome back. Rob, welcome back. Stash is rolling coal, welcome. Good to have you. Saint Bo, welcome. Good to have you. Anyone watch the live stream from Wavy Boats? I did not see that. Helping out a coworker find a first boat. Very nice. Getting more folks interested. Wiley, good to have you. That's a new name I don't recognize. Stash is Rolling Co. from Lake of the Ozarks. Good to have you. That is a place that I am very familiar with. Billy Bob, welcome. Water temps below 80 down here, so basically freezing. Yeah, it gets chilly. Her and her fiance want to take the jump. We'll lead them in the right direction. Bo, you're a good man for the job. Ryan Moody, welcome. Good to have you. Some new faces here today. Let's see here. Tampa Bay, welcome. Wiley from Tampa Bay. Yeah, let me know where everybody's from. We got John O'Brien. That's a new face. Welcome. Beretta 96, Dan from Carolinas. I am just outside Charlotte right now. That is where I call home. Getting cold. Yeah, it was definitely cool outside today. We went to the football game, the high school football game on Friday with some friends of ours and my kids. And it was chilly. It was chilly towards the end of the night, and chilly and cold and rainy today as well. So we got a good crowd. Good to have everybody. Let's see here. What is going on? We had Jerry. I don't know if Jerry is on. I didn't see him, but we had the Annapolis Boat Show. Um, Annapolis Boat Show. So I think it was the sailboat show kicked off today. 12th to the 15th was the sail show. When is the powerboat show kicking off? Sailboats VIP. They've got two. Oh, you guys aren't seeing what I'm looking at here. They've got two big shows. They've got the sail show and the powerboat show. Wilmington, North Carolina had a boat show this weekend. Annapolis powerboat was last weekend, the 5th to the 8th. Okay. 5th to the 8th, they move all the powerboats out and brought the sail in this weekend. Wilmington was this weekend. Nonstop rain for the next 2 weeks. I wouldn't be able to handle that, man. Got my boat up in storage. Yeah, Fort Lauderdale. Flibs is Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show is, I got that one on my calendar, the 25th through the 29th. I've got a pass for it as a content creator pass. I got approved for that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it down though or not. We got family coming in this weekend, and I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it off to get down there. Unfortunately, we'll see. But that's if you've got an opportunity, if you're near Fort Lauderdale, there'll be a lot of reveals of new models coming out down there. It is an event. They've got seminars. They've got the Super Yacht Village. So if you look, I mean, they've got everything. Submarine, you need a submarine, they've got it. But they've got a little bit of everything. Best of show. They've got a VIP experience where you can get access to some extra stuff that most people don't get access to. I mean, the foods that they have, the open bar with one of theirs, they've got an open bar. They've got super high end cars there as well. That's a pretty awesome experience. Seattle and Portland boat shows. February, yeah, a lot of them. You're either over the next couple of weeks, October, November, or January to March or January to April, really is kind of boat show season, spring boat show season. Let's see. Stash says just pulled my 2000 Aqua Patio 270 out today. Tucked her in. Great fourth summer on the lake. Yeah, that's awesome. Stash or Stash. I need to get my glasses out. I'm getting old. Stash, we've got a place. I've been going down there since I was 5 years old in the probably 1979, maybe, or 80 was my first year down there. And my family bought a place down there in 99. So we've been going down there forever. And we're usually around the Niangua Bridge is where we are. So it's like mile marker 31 off the main channel. We're mile marker probably like 5, something like that, down a little ways. Have to leave early. Want to run down, pick up a beta fish. Good first bit for the knees. Nice. My family, we didn't have much luck with we didn't have much luck keeping fish alive in my household, but yeah, that is a good one. Having some fish there. So I don't know what I planned on talking about today. Let's see what's going on in the world. Wavy Boat Live. Let's see what that was all about. That Bo was talking about. Haulover Inlet. So that looks like just That looks like it's just a live feed from Haulover, which could be interesting. You never know what you're going to see. This is something my daughter and I enjoy watching. Is just trying to figure out who's going to make it through, who's not, who's going to do well, who's gonna do stuff like this and throw somebody out of the boat. That's probably the most scary one that I've seen so far. Um, one of some of my wildest boat stories. Well, Bo, I'm a pretty chill, laid back guy. I don't get too wild and crazy. Um, I fortunately, we've never had any big disasters. Probably the like when I went down at the Lake of the Ozarks. So, Stosh, you might know this. Okay, yeah. So you might know this. So the intersection where you got Hurricane Deck Bridge is down this way. We call it Fish Cove, but fishing company restaurants down here. Niangua Bridge is down this way towards us. And then you go down this way, you go around the bend to where Margaritaville is. So that four-way intersection down at the lake. This would have been in the late 80s, early 90s, cruising through on a pontoon, a pontoon with it probably had a 115 on it, maybe. I was on the pontoon. We had at that time, I think we had our crown line, our 22-foot crown line, and we would go down there for vacation from Nebraska. And so we would load up all the boats, load up the coolers, and we'd go out for the day, hit the water at 10 o'clock. We'd come back at 7 o'clock for dinner. We were out all day, and we were cruising, not paying. I wasn't driving at the time. I was a kid along for the ride. And on the pontoon, it took a wave over the bow because we had it all loaded down with all the coolers we had sitting on the front. And it washed all three of the coolers off the bow of the pontoon. And so there was just beer and water and soda just bobbing all over and coolers floating all over in the like this. And it's not as busy as it is now, but one of the busier parts of the lake with people coming and going. And all of the boats just sort of pulled over, and all of us young guys just jumped in the water and started throwing all the drinks back up and collected everything, getting all of the debris. That was one of them that sticks with me. Of probably would do it different now. Keep the weight in the back. Keep that bow up. Things I know now that we didn't back then. Have you ever been to Michigan City, Indiana, to the boat races? I have not. Michigan City, Indiana boat races. I've been. Lake of the Ozarks has the shootout, but I've not been to Michigan City race information. Let's see here. Offshore Powerboat Association. Yeah, it looks like it's probably a similar thing to the Lake of the Ozarks shootout. Let's see here. Offshore Powerboat Association. Oh, that's wanting me to share it. I just want to look at it. Just show me some pictures, people. But yeah, that is amazing. Let's see, Michigan City gallery. Let's go to the gallery. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Oh no, it's not. So the Lake of the Ozarks shootout is one or two boats going, but this looks like an actual race, which that would be interesting with the navigators and all that. I've got a buddy. Let's see, Andy Reynolds boat racing. So this is a buddy of mine. He races this right here. He's a realtor on. He used to sell at the same dealership I sold at, and he left before I did. But I knew him as he was getting started in real estate. But his brother is one of the best marine mechanic going, and Andy races these 210 plus miles an hour. and it's crazy. I should invite him on the show sometime, but yeah, that it's pretty nuts. I couldn't imagine jumping in something like that. Yeah, 3 mile marker on the Nangler, right at the bridge. Yeah, so we are almost straight across Stosh from the cove. Or you may be the one that I've been emailing back and forth that now that you were talking about keeping the otters off your boat. That might have been you that sent me the video of the otters. I wonder, because that's near our place too. My parents go down there for a couple months out of the year. In the summer, they do a month in the summer. They do a month in the like right after Labor Day. Usually, they like it a little quieter, a little bit cooler. Does 2 gallons of marina antifreeze for 15 gallons of water that isn't full, waste tank empty as you can get. Does 2 gallons of marine antifreeze for 15 gallons on a water tank that isn't full. One, yeah. What you want to do, or what I would do, is what you want to spray all the water out. So get all the water out that you can. Pump the waste tank, rinse the waste tank, get all that done, and then take your antifreeze and put it in the tank. Put gallon, 2 gallons in. And what's really important for you, Jason, is to make sure all of that antifreeze gets to every spigot. So turn your water pump on, and if you've got a sprayer at the bow, spray that until it turns pink. Then if you've got a transom washdown, spray that until it turns pink. Any other washdowns that you have on the boat, any access, turn everything on and wait till it gets pink and then turn it off. That's when you know you've got um, you've got antifreeze through everything, because one of the most common components is the sprayer, the spray handle, right? Is because that's gonna freeze the quickest. And you want to make sure you purge all the water out of that. So you spray all the water out, put the antifreeze in, and then spray that through the system, and make sure you get it to every exit point. And then yeah, take some more and put it in even just a half a gallon in the waste tank is probably good. But again, you want to. I don't know what system you have, if it's just a regular pump out, but you'll want to make sure that it gets anywhere through that system where there could be a little bit of water sitting in there, if that sounds right. Because water in a tank, it's going to take a little longer to freeze if it's a bigger area. But water in a little hose, or water in your spray down thing, that'll freeze in overnight, and that'll crack it, break the fitting, and now you're in a big world of hurt. So you want to protect both of them, for sure. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Any experience with drive showers? Looking at adding to our Bravo 3. I have not. I have not done if it's not, I don't know. I've heard conflicting information on them, that what they're really for. If you, for those that don't know, a drive shower for Bravo 3. So it's basically a little sprinkler that you put on the top. So it's always getting water wet. And um, what happens is on some of the performance boats with the Alpha One specifically, is they raise. So they run so much on plane that's really just that prop is in the water. And so part of the lower unit gear case is out of the water, and it's not getting wet at all, because it's going at such speed, and there's just a void there until the prop hits it. Well, the drive showers then, because that will cause your gear casing to overheat, right? All that oil is running there, but the water is what disperses the heat real well. So if that's not in the water, then that gear case can start overheating. That oil gets hot, starts breaking down, and now you've got gear case problems. The drive shower is designed to keep it wet, to keep it wet so it water will take the heat away faster, right? That's what it does. So on your Bravo 3, on your boat, I don't know. I don't know that you're getting that void. If you're getting the void of water there, then yes, then they can help. But if that pocket of air isn't there, it's not going to help much in from what I understand. Now, I've not run them, I've not had the experience, but from what I've read about them, people I've talked to about them, that's when they work well. And the other is some people say they work well, some people say they don't. I think it just gives them a little bit higher level of confidence that I know it's always staying as cool as I can get it. But I've also talked to some people that said, we've taken the temperature of it before and after with drive shower, without drive shower, and we didn't see any difference in the temperature of the gear case. So that's just all what anecdotal evidence. But if you are running Herb, I don't know that you've got a boat that's going to be running. I know you've got the formula, so maybe you're running fast enough on that that you are creating that pocket. That's how I would make my decision. Um, but if you can install it yourself, I didn't realize they were that inexpensive. 210 bucks. So if you got tie bars, will not fit alphas. Um, yeah, so I'd imagine that's a pretty simple install. Um, yeah, you can kind of see how it would go on there for those that don't see it, but you can see how it's shooting water back at it, because you can imagine if you're going real fast, you got it trimmed up and you're riding just right here. This part of the drive isn't getting much water on it, so that is keeping it wet, keeping that temperature down is the theory. Um, but if you're just riding on your cavitation plate, most of the heat's being built up right here, in that bullet part under the skeg, or under the anti ventilation plate right there. So anyway, that's Herb. That's about all I can add for you. Um, yeah, nowadays that intersection there at 31 used to be called Pier 31. I don't remember what I go back to. I call everything what it used to be. But it used to be Pier 31 back in the 80s. It's changed hands like 10 times since then, but that used to be the marine. We would go get gas, get ice, and we would go ski down in the fishing company cove down there. That was one of the spots we went to all the time. Best way to clean your seats on a pontoon? Do you have a way to keep spiders off your boat? And listen, if I could come up with Noel, if I could come up with a way to keep spider poop off boats, that is the idea right there. That is the idea that is going to be very make you a very successful person. They Cleaning the seats is here's my take on cleaning the seats is one, just throughout the year, clean it every time and then dry it. So, and when I say clean it, for me, it's with the least harsh thing that you can use. So, sometimes I'll just, if we haven't been too crazy, didn't it wasn't real hot, we weren't sunscreening up multiple times. I might just wipe it down with a beach towel, a damp beach towel, and just wipe everything down with that. Like that, I do every time. If it's a little bit dirtier, we've used the boat for a couple days in a row, I'll get a warm gallon of water and put maybe a cup or so of why am I blanking on this? Vinegar, white distilled vinegar. About a cup of that, mix it up with some warm water, and I'll go through and I'll scrub that. That'll get 95% of the stuff off. Now, if I've got a trouble spot, I might go get some like 303 upholstery cleaner. I don't think I've got any here. And I might get like a toothbrush or something to get a spot. That's going to get 99% of the stuff off if you start out keeping it really well. And then from there, if you've got a really, really, really bad spot, you're not on threads or anything. Okay, now if you want to get a magic eraser, I hate even saying it because they get overused. Just a little spot to get that off, and then if you do that, make sure then you protect it with like a 303 protector. We've got it on the site. So like 303. They're killing me with this. Let's see here. Why are all of our images gone? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Anyway, 303's got a protector. I've got a lot of work to do on this on our store right now, but we do offer all of this stuff, and I'm just not sure why all the images are gone from here. Anyway, with the protector, that's going to get that UV protection back on it. It's going to get it some of the moisturizer back in it, keep it nice, soft, and supple and pliable. The spider poop, the better you keep them clean, and the more protected you keep on there, that UV protector, and that's going to allow that spider poop to come off a little bit easier. But again, the spider poop, it's probably one of the toughest things that you have to get off a boat. Gel coat or upholstery. Upholstery is even worse because it's a little bit more porous than gel coat. Again, I would do the same thing. Is the quicker that you can get the spider poop off, the better. If it dries real good, it's real hard to get off. So again, I would go over, get it wet with the just a damp towel. Go to the next level with either the vinegar mixture, the gallon of water with about a cup of vinegar or so. It's not an exact ratio, but not too much vinegar. Vinegar can be really acidic, and so you don't want that to suck all the moisture out. But it is just caustic enough to get the dirt and grime off. That's why I like it. And it, everybody says it smells. It doesn't. When you mix it at that ratio, you can smell it for about 2 seconds out in the open, and then it's gone. Then go up to your spray cleaners. They make some spider poop cleaners. Spider. I've not tried a bunch of them, but I haven't. I haven't. The ones I've tried, I don't even know which ones they were. I don't remember. But I didn't have a ton of great success over just a regular cleaner. Like a 303 cleaner or a Starbright cleaner or something like that. But that's where you get your toothbrush. Just let it sit on there, let it soak in. Get your toothbrush, just squirt it around a little bit without damaging the upholstery, and then wipe it up. That's going to get it most of the time. But the biggest thing you can do is keep the seats in good condition, keep them protected, and that way it's less likely to kind of get down into the upholstery, if that makes sense. Yeah, made sure to flush the toilet a few times, cycled the water, antifreeze back in the water tank, fresh water, stable, good. Yep, there you go. Just check. When you say the motor as far down as you can, just make sure that there's not any angle where water can collect in that hub. That the hub water's always going to drain out. That's another spot that gets people is if you've got just a little bit of an up angle and water gets in that hub, it can freeze and it can mess up with the prop hub. So it sounds like you're on the right track. Why do we try so hard to make this geared outboard design when they go 70 miles an hour on the water in Thailand with a straight shaft? I don't know. Uh, for those of you that haven't seen it, how do you spell Thailand? TH Thailand straight shaft river boats. So these longtail river boats, uh, and they put a come on, they put a long tail. These are the souped up ones, but if you look, he's holding the tiller handle, and that goes back to, I don't know if it's going to show it real well or not. There you go. So you can kind of see it back there. Um, the prop is way back there on a long shaft. Well, they do that because going through the rivers, if there's a log in your way, what they'll do is they'll pick it up out of the water, or they'll turn it, and it gives them great maneuverability, and they can avoid the debris that's floating through the rivers. I don't know. I don't know with I mean, there's people trying to ban prop boats just having a propeller. You think the safety first people would go crazy if they saw a big propeller sticking 5 feet off a boat running down a running down a lake? They would go nuts. Um, yeah, make sure there's no water in the lower unit. Take your big screwdriver, just crack that bottom drain, and you can maybe crack the vent a little bit. You probably don't even need to, but just make sure there's only oil coming out at that low spot. Just seal it back up, and wipe it down, because you want to make sure there's no water in the gear case. Look, fishing line, you never know what can happen, but you rather have to replace a little bit of oil and clean it up than have water. And I don't know if you hit the 100-hour mark yet, Jason. I think you were said 80, but you probably don't need to change your gear oil every 2 to 3 years. Every 100 hours is the recommendation on most manufacturers. I think you've got a Yamaha. It can't hurt if you do change it. That's fine. I don't think you can ever change your gear lube too much, but you don't always have to. I built a straight shaft electric outboard for my dinghy. Nice. If you have no gear case, it can't break. That's one way to look at it for sure. I would like to see that go. Yeah, I mean, and you're not losing any power either. You've got 100% of the power getting to that prop. I'm no speedster, but always looking for something preventative if possible. Yeah, it is. It's one of those things. There's a lot of things in boating that people come up with that solve a problem that doesn't really exist. Now, the drive showers, they solve a problem that really exists, but a lot of times people come up with a gimmick or a gadget. They're like, oh my gosh, everybody needs one of these. You're like, that problem exists in a one specific situation, like a 0.5% of the boating industry. Nobody else has that issue, and you see it all the time with a lot of the inventions. Is a Penyam a well-built boat? I don't know. Never heard of it, David. Let's take a look. Penyam boats, fiberglass boats, 1,000 families. The only exclusive Penyam resource in the world about our consulting services. List your Penyam boat on our brokerage page. Why pay Brokerage 15%. List your boats. I don't have any idea. I've never ever heard of these. Okay, so a little pilot house, kind of a pilot house. Tool console. Looks like hardcore fishing boats, but the fact that these guys specialize in Penyans tell me that it's a fairly well-known boat. But I don't, David, unfortunately, I don't know anything about him. History of Penyan boats. German native Charles Herman founded Penyan Boats in 1921. Headquarters in Penyan, New York, produced a wide range of wooden power boats, rowboats, canoes, switched to fiberglass in the 60s. When did they stop building? Innovator, patented, partially enclosed the propeller and drive shaft, tunnel drive. Sold in 1979, ceased operation in 2001. So 2001, they stopped building them. Interesting. So they are a long time, and but yeah, I've not seen one. I've not that I know of. I haven't seen one. Although with this style, that's interesting. If you look, you saw they said the partially enclosed drive. You could see it there in that picture. Images. You could see like a little capsule kind of in the back where or I guess the lower unit came out. Interesting. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. Okay, so it's a straight shaft. And they just tunneled it out there. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I don't have anything for you there, David. I have my bug guy spray. Yeah, spraying the dock is and keeping the dock as clean as you can. Keeping lights at a minimum on the dock so you keep the food away will at least keep them smaller. And you know, you go to some docks that have big bright lights. You know, they've got maybe a motion light that comes on if somebody comes by. Well, you're just asking for that's going to attract bugs, and you're going to grow your spiders huge, and their poop is going to be a lot more. You know, there's little things like you can do there, and yeah, spraying is a good preventative step if you can. Just try not to get as much of it, and try not to get much in the water if you can avoid it. For sure. What's a good place to buy boating items? Have a West Marine around me. Good Lord. Go just buying maintenance items there. Well, Ken, we have some. As you can see, our store has a lot to be desired. This is a project that we are working on. We've got the product relationships. I think our pricing is competitive. I haven't really set a great. So let's look at that. Mold blocker versus West Marine. This is analysis I need to do this off season. So they're $24.99 on a 32-ounce mold and mildew cleaner, and we're $20.79. So yeah, you retail price $25.99. We're less than West Marine on that. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be the same for everything, but you know, for some of your stuff, we've got it: bilge pump, stereo speakers, skeg guards, compasses, grills. We've got we've got a lot of that stuff. Some Magma grills, Kuma grills. We have We have the electronics, fish finders, rod holders, stuff like that as well. The cleaning supplies. We've got pretty much everything you could want there except for boat juice. We don't have a relationship with boat juice. Your gear, anchors, dock lines, first aid kits. And like I said, I tried to price it so we made a little bit of money, but I didn't. I haven't put a whole lot of competitive analysis other than when I spot checked things. I felt we were competitive or lower than most people, but we're a place. There's a few others that West Marine, Um, Overton's is now owned by Marcus Lemonis, the guy that bought Camper World. They've got Camper World, Gander Mountain, and they bought Overton's several years ago. Overton's, Bart's is the same thing though. Bart's boating stuff, water sports. Let's see if that comes up. Bart's Water. This is where I used to buy all of my skis when I was a kid. But they got bought by Overton's a number of years ago, and then when Camper World bought Overton's, they came along, but they're geared more towards the gear, the water sports gear is where they focus. Where Overton's has a little bit of everything. I don't have, depending on what you're looking at, Ken, sometimes if you're in a bigger boating area, if you're looking for a tube or skis or something like that, Facebook Marketplace in a boat, if you go to a boating area, and like I did this, my girls weren't sure if they wanted to ski or not. So I just put a post on, we were going to Knoxville, and I put a post in the Lake Loudon, the lake that we go to, the Lake Loudon Facebook group, and said, hey, anybody selling kids trainer skis? Because I knew once they got up on them, then we would move, or they decided, no, we like wakeboarding better, which is what happened. And they prefer wakeboarding versus skiing. And so that's a good way to get some used gear. That's how we bought our first wakeboard. I bought our first wakeboard at Play Again Sports because I wasn't sure. My girls, they're not super adventurous. But so I spent $50 on the first wakeboard before I spent, $400 on the one we have now. All right, they like it. Let's get a little bit bigger one. Let's get one that they can ride till they're, in their teens or early 20s. And then we'll spend some money. But that's another thing that I do if that concept matches you a little bit. Brock, I see Brock here in the comments. Let's see. I mainly clean my seats with Chemical Guys Quick Leather Detailer. I think you said that before. Chemical Guys Quick Leather Detailer. So $10. Yeah, $10 for what is this, 16-ounce bottle? Yeah, just as long as you're using something that doesn't have a lot of alcohol in it, doesn't have a lot of stuff that's going to damage your seat. I can tell you, Brock takes care of his stuff. Brock takes care of his stuff for the long haul too. And so if this is treating his seats well, then this is something that would make sense. Chemical Guys, condition, protect, cleans, restores, protects, vitamin E, aloe, leather scent, dry to the touch, cleans and maintains leather, removes dirt, dust, and fingerprints. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, like I always tell people, stay away from the Armor All products. A lot of the wipe products, like they're easy, they're convenient. I got some bamboo wipes that a company here in on Lake Norman came up with, that I came across. And I was like, I'll try it. They're super convenient just to wipe off a boat if if you have a dirty seat or a spill or something. But they've got alcohol in them a lot of times, and And I try to stay away from that if you can. Ryan says, are Grady Whites worth the high price? Their price is earned, right? So their solid build, yes, is worth it. Now, are they worth it for you? That's another story. So if you're going miles offshore, and you are going to be, hey, if we get caught in some snot, if we are in a bad situation, and I want a tank to get us back home, then and I want to say I have a Grady. Like there's some of that with Grady and with Whaler, with Cobalt, with Bennington and Barletta. Like those are all boats that I can say, yeah, they're the best in their category. They're built well. Okay. They also come with some prestige, some pride of ownership, that you've got the brand that you can pull up to the dock. You pull up to a marina in a Grady, and they're like, nice boat. Grady's don't look fancy. They are classic. They are rock solid. They do the little details well, and they're a great boat. Now, is it worth it for you? Well, that depends on what does Ryan Moody find valuable. Is he going to go in a situation where I need rock solid? I need to know that I've got something that is going to feel like a tank going through any chop. I need to have that feeling when I pull up on the docks. I want that. Hey, if it can be better, I want better than Grady's for you. If and I've got the finances, I've got the dollar amount in my bank account to buy it, right? And to do it comfortably and not feel stretched. Absolutely worth it. For somebody like me, you know, I wouldn't spend the money on it because I know I could do a Key West, I could do a Sportsman, I could do a Sea Hunt, I could do a number of a Scout. I could do a number of boats that are similar, that are tens of thousands less, and they're not going to be quite as solid. They're not going to have quite the cachet at the docks. They're not going to have quite the detailed build quality. Is it safe to take out in the snot the same way with the Grady? Yeah, it is. I might hear a few more rattles. It might not be quite as solid under my feet, but it's going to be able to do the exact same thing, minus a little bit of experience, minus a little bit of ego boost. If like, and there there's people that I look at my brother and I. So growing up, my brother always wanted to wear the brand, the Hugo Boss, the Z Cavaricci, the whatever the popular brand clothing was. Structure. He always liked to shop at Structure. Me, I didn't care. Like, a matter of fact, I prefer not to have a logo on my shirt. So I am a anti that. So that's me. Like, I would put myself in that category. The value category is, hey, I want something that I can get out on. I want the warranty. I realize I'm not getting the best. I realize there's another tens of thousands of dollars in gap in pricing for that value. But it's got the same Yamaha motor. Probably doesn't have as much fanciness. It's not going to be as solid under my feet. I probably wouldn't put it in the same conditions that I would put the mid tier and the premium brands, if we're talking about the coast. But it can give me a good experience. I can run out. I can go offshore. I just want to be a little bit more cautious about getting out of it. Running around the intercoastal, running around the bays and the harbors, great. I can do a Mako, or I can do a trophy or something like that. Perfectly fine. Everybody's got their own bucket that they fall into. I think what's important is to know what bucket you are going to be satisfied with. I think that's really the key. But there absolutely is a difference between the premium builds, the mid tier, and the value. And I try to show it in my best and worst videos. If you've not watched those, Ryan, I think you probably have. Worst center console boats. So this video here, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. This video here is one where I went to the boat show and I inspected it. I basically got on every single boat brand that was there and multiple boats per brand and took pictures of the good, the bad, and the ugly and tried to show it. And made my evaluations based on being on those boats and my history of being around those boats and running those boats in different situations. And did it without like for those, I don't take any money from manufacturers to say good things about them. I could make a lot more money. That's why I need to sell programs and ask for people to give if they want to be a member or something like that because I don't take money from manufacturers to say good things. I want to be able to say whatever I want. And that's why I think it's important for people to choose their category. Um, yeah, Parts View is really good. Hodges Marine actually, um, they've got a lot of the same relationships to product that I do. There's a company that supplies us and does drop shipping for the products. So, and Parts View is owned by. Parts View is a great place to get impellers and um, I don't know why I'm blanking on products that are service items that like your 100-hour service pack with gaskets and with all that kind of stuff, your gears, your gear lube, your filters and things like that. They are owned by um, they are owned by why am I blanking on this? I want to say One Water Marine. Who owns Parts View? Parts View. TH Marine. Yes, One Water. One Water Marine that owns like legendary. They started out as legendary and Singletary Marine, and then they started buying up all sorts of other dealerships around the country, and they bought up Parts View. They bought up several other. TH Marine was another acquisition that they rolled into Parts View, um, and but One Water just sold off. They bought them in 2021. One Water just spun off a couple of dealers that I thought was interesting. I'm buying the 303. Do you have your sweatshirts available? I don't, but I can. Noel, I will look at. Well, actually, you know what? Let me see if I do. Spring. What was it? Spring. Spring. I think I can put these in my store, but let me if you anybody wants gear, so I've got the same place that made this, um, just a hoodie. My daughter's actually, it's funny you say that. My daughter's did a photo shoot today, um, with well, and they left this on. The battery might be dead now. Yeah. Anyway, they were doing a photo shoot. My two girls went out. I had the green screen. They were doing some pictures for me for some marketing stuff that we're doing, and they decided they wanted to do a photo shoot. So they got all of their Boater Secret Weapon gear, and the two of them were on the green screen with my wife's fancy camera and taking all the pictures, which was pretty funny. So if you want it, Noel, just send me an email, and I'm pretty sure that this everything's still set up in there, and I can just send you the link. I'd be happy to do that for you. Um, Mike, welcome. Good to have you. All right, Billy Bob. I didn't get the boat out, but twice this year. Got a nearly full tank of non-ethanol fuel last December that was treated. That's a tough one. I would probably, yeah, didn't run. Uh, So assuming that the gas was fresh at the end of last year, um, what I'd probably do is top it up with non-ethanol, the highest octane you can get. Put more stabilizer in it. I prefer I prefer this. I prefer the Marine 360. The Marine 360 stabilizer. I watched it. Here's why: is there's a YouTube channel of small engine repair that's out there, and let me shut some of this stuff down. That's slowing me down. And anyway, they took a bunch of these fuel stabilizers and put them in lawnmower engines. They mounted the lawnmower engines on a big rack, and so they had like 20 of them. They put in ethanol gas, so they use like the worst situation, and every month they would start them up, and then if it didn't last, then they would mark it off. Okay, Marine 360 was the last one standing. When you talk to marine technicians that have been around a while, they recommend Marine 360. So this is what I would use, and that's something that I would probably fill it up, top it off, not knowing where you are, Billy Bob. The bigger the fluctuation in temperatures in your area, the more likely condensation is to form in the tank, and then you got moisture in there, which is never good. But I would do that, top it off, put the fuel stabilizer in there, run it through the engine again. So put it on earmuffs, run it through, make sure you've got fresh stabilizer in through your whole system. Um, and then I would just make it a point to, I know you didn't get out because you didn't want to this year. I know it's because you were busy. That's what happens. But just make it a point to really run that gas out um, early next season and get some fresh in there. I think that would be the move. Um, Not prop Sally a millimeter. Um, so wholesale anti-cavillation plate is the no, it's not. It is so the anti-cavitation plate is necessary. Uh, whale tail on boat. So this is what he's talking about, like this type of whale tail. Now, this anti-ventilation plate, anti-cavitation plate, whatever you want to call it, it's there to keep the prop from sucking in air. When you get up on plane, that's going to be riding just at the water level, and it's there so that the the prop is turning, and it can, if it gets too much and that's not there, it can suck air in, and now you're sucking air in instead of water, and your prop can spin out. The whale tail is for a boat that's either not powered properly, doesn't have quite enough horsepower, or it's not balanced properly with the way they did the build. So maybe it's usually they don't have as much fiberglass. It's usually on a stern drive, and it's so heavy that it takes forever for it to get planed out. So that whale tail gives it more surface area, so the bow doesn't sink down as much, and it planes easier. But you only need it in a situation where the boat's not balanced right, or the boat doesn't have quite enough horsepower. Usually you'll find them on a 3.0 liter on like an 18 footer or something like that, or maybe a 20 footer with a 4.3 liter, and it just doesn't quite have the umph, or they put a lot of weight in the boat and all the weight's in the back. And yes, they can help, but you shouldn't, if the boat's built right, you shouldn't need it, if that makes sense. Um, the, the blue lights are there because people keep running into the docks, and they passed an ordinance that said you can only have blue lights on your docks, because people were putting red green lights on them to keep people from running into them. And that was confusing. There was all these different colored lights and had party lights and whatever. So they passed an ordinance. I don't know how long ago it was, but I remember we had to switch ours out and put blue on ours. We're like halfway back in the cove, so we're not right on the main channel, but on our cove, the main channel goes here, and there's a let me go just me. So the main channel's here on the point, on our point going out. So like probably 10 houses up is the point. They've got a big dock, and then our long walkway, and then their 2-slip dock. Every year for the past 5 years, at least one person has cut right through their walkway, um, because people are driving way too fast at night, usually drinking, not paying any attention, and typically new boaters like to stay close to shore. They feel more comfortable closer to shore. It's the worst place you can be in most situations. If you're out in the middle of the lake, you got so many more choices. You've got so much deeper water. You're less likely to run aground. But for whatever reason, every new boater I've trained, they want to stay close to shore. They feel safer there. And so a lot of people put lights on the docks, but they have to be blue. Otherwise you'll get a letter from Ameren EU, the power company down there that owns the water. And they allow you to put your dock on it. You have to be rich to buy marine parts now. It's there is nothing cheap right now. There's nothing cheap in the world right now. Great advice. I got about 4 lakes in a half-hour radius. We'll need to get the wife to check out Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, that is a great spot. And because people that sell their boat is like when I sold boats, people that were selling their boat to get out of boating and had no plans to get back in it, they're like, just take the gear, like give it away with the boat. Some of them would take it off and sell it themselves. But if you've got marinas around in the area, like a big dry stack marina, go talk to some of the yard guys, because they make a little side business out of telling those people, hey, I'll just get rid of it for you. And then they've got a stash of gear that they sell or give to their friends or whatever. That is a thing that happens also. AutoZone has marine battery, non-toxic antifreeze. Just make sure, I did a video on this, make sure that non-toxic antifreeze is for, here we go, it's this one right here. Has the, come on. So these two are both, even though they're different color, that's beside the point. They're both -50 degree. Oh, you can't see that now, can you? They're both -50 degree, but one has the anti-corrosion properties that you want to run through your engine. The other one is for water systems. So usually the $5.99 one is the water system one, and the $9.99 is the corrosion inhibitor one. That's got chemicals that you don't really want to put in your water system. I don't know if it's a huge deal if you rinse it out real well, but that's the difference between the expensive and the cheap one, or the expensive one and the more expensive for one, if you want to look at it like that. I love how Captain Matt always brings everything back to what's good for you. Don't get something that doesn't fit your. Yeah, it is. I try to make a big point of that. And I love it. I love it on Facebook comments. I see it a lot, or even in my YouTube comments. I get the it's dumb. Don't ever get that boat. That's a terrible boat. But I think that there's almost every boat built today, or every boat built today serves a purpose. I think there was a time when there were some boats that like, yeah, that was a scam one, before they had computer aided design, and they were popping molds from one boat to another. And they were doing things a little bit more by the seat of your pants. I think now it's a much more sophisticated build, and even the cheapest boat today is very, very safe. See, there you go. As long as it's not a Bay letter, I hope Bo has already gone for the night. Don't forget O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Yep, yep, for sure. Um, yeah, good deal. 3.98 a gallon. Again, make sure that you read. Let's see here. Somewhere in this video, I hold it up. I think it's this video. Yeah, I think that's where I held it up. So go watch this video. I don't know if it's gonna come up for me, but I show you what it says. What it says that is what you want for the engine and what you want for the water tank. Captain Matt, any advice on winter storage in the Midwest, primarily keeping rodents at bay, dryer sheets? So I'm gonna do a test this year. I've got a friend. Let me shut this down. I've got a friend that lives on a couple acres, a lot of wooded area to field. He got a mouse in his truck, in his GMC truck that he put rat poison and it died in the back of his cab, and he didn't know it until it started stinking. So I don't know, but I'm going to run a test to see what works. You'll find this is the one that I want to test. You'll find like Irish Spring, mint oil, dryer sheets. Um, there is this is one that I want to test: how to keep mice out of RVs. It's Tomcat, and but what you don't want to do, that's not it. That's not it. Here we go. I think this guy did it. But anyway, watch some of the RV videos. I don't have a surefire way that I'm like, yes, this will do it. There's some products out there. Um, but what you don't want to do is use rat poison because then they're going to die and you're going to have a dead carcass in your boat. So make sure any food is out of there. Um, make sure you keep it, got it as clean as possible. I would use a combination of them. So I would use a combination of the peppermint oil, the peppermint oil, and the dryer sheets are like at least that gives them something else to make their bedding out of besides digging into your upholstery. And then there's also some ultrasonic. If you've got power, sonic rodent repeller. So there's also some of these that I think show some promise. And so what I want to do is I want to take a box with each of these in it. So the peppermint oil, a box with this in it, a box with that in it, a box with the ultrasonic, and put that out in the shed where I know these mice are going to be coming in the next month or so, and then video it and see which ones work and which ones don't. So that's going to take some prep and it's going to take some time, but I'm I'm got that on the list of things to do this fall. So it'll be too late. You'll have your boat put away by that point. But another thing is like anything that's moving can be helpful or making a sound that will keep them scared away. But and just eliminate any food sources anywhere nearby the boat as well. So something like we had mice get into our garage because I had a bag of sunflower seeds in our boat bag. I like to eat sunflower seeds on the boat, and they chewed right through the boat bag during the winter, or right through the sunflower seed bag through the winter, and there was a bunch of little mouse turds all over in our boat bag, which my wife wasn't pleased about. But those would be some of the some of the things I would try. If anybody on here has a good suggestion, let me know. We use the Chemical Guys leather detailer on just about everything vinyl. Pick Chemical Guys when I moved to Charleston. Chemical Guys dealer here. Yeah. Hey, find something you like and stick with it. Tyrell fixes all. Oh yes, that's what it is. That's what it is. I give this guy a shout out because I watched um, Fixes All. Yes, he has the fake teeth. Like you first start watching it, you're like, who is this dude? But he's got awesome stuff. He's got really awesome stuff. He wears these fake teeth to start the videos and throughout. It's just a bunch of characters in a small engine repair shop, but they are awesome. So check out Terrell. Terrell Fixes All. I'm not sure how he says his name. It was a while ago that I watched it, but let's see. 19-month fuel additive test. Fuel additive test don't work. Here's why. Um, so he's got a bunch of them, but I think it was this one that I watched all of. Now he's got 23 videos in that 23 videos in that playlist. If you're interested, check him out. He's a funny guy. Like they're characters. Aspen fuel is good. I'm not sure Aspen fuel. Okay, so canned fuel. Interesting. I've not used that. All right, we are over an hour here. I think we're going to start wrapping it up. I've got 10-year-old marine gas. We've been using to mow the lawn. Yeah, that's another way to go, especially if it's straight gasoline. Um, if it's straight gasoline, you got a better chance. 100 gallons and was sealed. Yeah, that makes a big difference too. Um, keeping the elements out. Key is to pick a brand, use it religious. Yeah, using it religiously. Absolutely, Brock. Good point. Does a fantastic job keeping the letter hydrated. Using it religiously, something that's going to keep it soft and supple, like that. Those are very very big keys. And if it's got a UV protector in it for if your boat sits out in the sun for longer periods as well. Um, thank you for sharing that, Brock. True. Use Adams in mine just because I sell it at the Chevy dealer. Stable 360. Yep, for sure. Came back. Bo, here I thought you were out and you missed it completely. And it happens. It's gonna happen. Ultrasonic doesn't work. Watch Mousetrap Mondays. Mousetrap money. Ouch. Mousetrap money. Oh, not money. Mondays. All right, so we'll check that out. Oh, so he tests a bunch of different kind of mouse traps versus his. All right, well, that's good. Awesome. Thank you for that $500. I will check that out because that's the kind of video I was going to do. If he's already done it, maybe I can just pass along his information. That'd be good. Mice and rats, Snaptrack, peanut butter. Yeah, you got to keep on. You don't want a dead one. It was funny. My buddy Richard is from Zimbabwe, and he's just a funny guy. We went to the football game with him, the high school football game with him on Friday with our kids are friends, and yeah, when he told me the story about he had a mouse in his truck and he put rat poison in it, I was like, you did not tell me you did it. Smart guy, like he is a head in the hospital, like a COO of the hospital, and I'm like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, you think he was just going to die and like fall out of your truck? But smart guys, I guess, make silly mistakes too. My wife was terrified that a coyote was by the marina making all the noise. After 30 minutes, figured out it was a decoy to scare away the geese. Wives too. Hey, that works. Maybe it's a multi-purpose. Yeah, that's another one that bird poop on boats. There's all of these like this, where they just crap all over the boats and finding a way. Like this guy's got all these lures up there, and they, if it sits long enough and they get used to it, they're gonna um, figure it out. The best thing I've seen for birds anyway is what is it called? Spider. It's like this dangly thing. It's like a weeping willow of metal prongs. Here we go. This right here, the bird spider, and it just sets on a thing, and they just sort of sway in the wind and the breeze and the waves of the boat. I don't think it's actually powered, but I'm curious to see how well that works. I've heard from some of the reports. I've heard good things on like Facebook and sites like that have used it, the whole truth, but I've not tested that one myself. So, all right, everyone get, oh yes, damp rid as well. Don't forget the damp rid to keep the moisture down, keep that moisture level down on the boat, so that that mold and mildew doesn't get started at all. Like that's the a big one. 3 buckets of damp rid, Bayliner. Yep, for sure. For sure. That is awesome one, Bo. Thanks for that. Change midwinter. Would you be able to teach a family member to dock our boat next year? If I make it down there, but I can teach them right now. So get the best boat captain stash. This is a program that I created for exactly that. I started the first one, I think I did 3 years ago. And it's how to operate your boat, how to dock the boat, how to tie it up, side dock, in a slip, back in a slip. We've got them for all the, outboard stern drives, pontoons, jet drives, twin engines. And so that's going to allow you to, I basically am on the boat with you. I've got 4 camera angles going, so you can see the straight down to the throttle and the steering wheel. You can see that control. You can see off the bow. You can see in the back, and then the other camera angle is going to be set like whatever my approach angle is, so you can see that. You can see how we approach the dock, and I talk through it. I dock from both sides. In different styles of boats. So this is done on a center console down in Charleston. This one was done on a Cobalt in Tennessee. The pontoon was done here in the Carolinas. The twin engine was done on the 35-foot Four Winds here. The wake boat and the jet boat are coming. Those have been a thorn in my side of not getting done. But the 4 main ones are done, and those 2 will be coming when they come. I took off a date because I was mad, but check those out. You can go to bestboatcaptain.com and check them out there. I don't care what the law is. A slingshot helps with the birds. They don't like them. Yes, keeping them away. Seagulls are overpopulated. The law needs to change. Dave Powell, thanks, Captain. Been storing the same way for 8 years. Never had a problem with rodents. However, upgraded from yes, and that is the time they'll be like, oh, this is the year it got extra cold. But Dave, just subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And when I do my test, and also I don't know, I think it was 500 recommended. Oh crap! Now I closed it down. Recommended that Better Mousetrap channel. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. Seagulls are the rats of the air. Yeah, it's much easier. Share this video with them. They won't listen to me. Yeah, I mean, if you go, so they can, if you just Google boater secret weapon reviews, you can hear some people talk about it. We got 77 reviews on here. Most of them are about that. I think there was one that wasn't a 5-star, somewhere in there, but lowest. Yeah, somebody gave us 3 stars. Pretty lame. Good information for beginners, but not detailed enough. Some things they didn't, and he never responded when I said, "What are you talking about?" But other than that, we've got a ton of 5-star reviews, money back guarantee. But just tell them to go check it out. Teaching a spouse, teaching somebody that you know how to drive, like, it is difficult. It's better to have somebody else do it. So, all right, guys, thank you all very much. I'm going to call it quits. And thanks for showing up again. Appreciate it. We'll catch you all next weekend.